He was obsessed with fear, not experiencing it, understanding it, controlling it, weaponizing it. And to do that, Jonathan Crane had to go back, way back, to a time when fear wasn't just an emotion, it was a god. The Scarecrow's fear toxin is one of Gotham's most terrifying weapons. But what most people don't realize is that its origins stretch far beyond modern chemistry. The concept, the very foundation of what Crane would eventually perfect, comes from an ancient legend that most historians have conveniently forgotten. Let's talk about Phobos. In Greek mythology, Phobos was the personification of fear itself. Son of Ares, the god of war, and Aphrodite, goddess of love. An unusual pairing, sure, but think about it. War and love are the two experiences where humans are most vulnerable to terror. Make sense? Phobos wasn't just some minor deity either. He was worshipped, genuinely worshipped by soldiers before battle. They would carve his face onto their shields. Not to intimidate enemies, but to invoke his power. To channel fear as a weapon. Now here's where it gets interesting. Ancient texts describe something called the breath of Phobos. According to legend, Phobos could exhale a mist that would cause mortals to experience their deepest terrors. Not illusions, exactly something worse. The mist would reach into your mind and pull out whatever you were most afraid of, then make you believe it was real. Sound familiar? Jonathan Crane, before he became the Scarecrow, was a professor of psychology at Gotham University. Brilliant but deeply disturbed. He was particularly fascinated by one thing: phobias. The irrational fears that grip people so completely they lose all sense of reality. During his research, Crane stumbled upon obscure texts describing rituals performed by ancient Greek priests. These priests, devoted to Phobos, allegedly used a combination of specific herbs and fungal compounds to induce states of extreme terror in their subjects. The texts described victims screaming at invisible attackers, clawing at their own faces, begging for mercy from things that weren't there. Crane was hooked. He spent years tracking down the specific botanical ingredients mentioned in these texts: ergot fungus, belladonna, datura, each one individually capable of inducing hallucinations, but combined in the right proportions, something else entirely. The ancient priests called their mixture daima, Greek for terror. Crane called it a starting point. You see, the original compound was crude, unpredictable. Sometimes it induced fear. Sometimes it just killed people. The priests considered this acceptable. Crane did not. He wanted precision. He wanted control. And so he began refining. For over a decade, Crane experimented, first on animals, then on psychiatric patients at Arkham, where he'd secured a position after being fired from the university. Nobody questioned why certain patients were experiencing unexplained episodes of extreme terror. After all, they were already disturbed. Who would notice? This was his laboratory, his testing ground. The breakthrough came when Crane isolated a specific chemical compound that targeted the amygdala, the brain's fear center. By synthesizing this with the ancient herbal mixture, he created something unprecedented, a toxin that could reliably induce targeted hallucinations based on the victim's pre-existing fears. The legend of Phobos, realized through modern chemistry. But Crane wasn't satisfied with just creating the toxin. He understood something crucial about fear. Presentation matters. This is where the scarecrow imagery comes in. Ancient cultures across the world have associated scarecrows with fear. In medieval Europe, farmers believed scarecrows contained trapped spirits.
Ass!
In Japan, the Kakashi was thought to be a vessel for wayward souls. In parts of Africa, similar figures were used in rituals to frighten away evil. The scarecrow is a universal symbol of dread. Something almost human, but not quite. Standing alone in a field, watching. Crane adopted this image deliberately. It's the burlap mask, the ragged clothes, the unsettling silhouette. Before victims even inhale the toxin, they're already primed for terror. The visual triggers ancient primal fears embedded deep in human psychology. He weaponized mythology itself. And here's the truly disturbing part. The fear toxin doesn't create fears, it excavates them. Whatever you're most afraid of, heights, spiders, death, loneliness, failure, the toxin finds it, amplifies it, makes it inescapable. The ancient Greeks believed Phobos could see into mortal souls. He knew your weaknesses before you did. Crane achieved something terrifyingly similar through chemistry. There's a reason Batman struggles against Scarecrow more than most realize. Physical threats, he can handle. But the fear toxin bypasses muscle and training. It attacks the mind directly, and everyone ever in the Dark Knight is afraid of something. Some historians argue the breath of Phobos was never real, that the ancient texts describing it were metaphorical, exaggerations by poets trying to capture the psychological effects of war. Maybe they're right, but here's what we know for certain. Somewhere along the line, the legend inspired reality. A disturbed man in Gotham read about an ancient god of fear and thought, I can do better. And he did. The fear toxin has evolved over the years. Different formulations. Different delivery methods. Crane has released it through gas, through water supplies, through direct injection. Each version more potent than the last. But the core remains unchanged. The same principle that ancient priests discovered thousands of years ago, fear is the most powerful weapon humans possess. It doesn't require strength. It doesn't require numbers. It requires only the right key to unlock what's already inside. Phobos knew this. Jonathan Crane perfected it. And Gotham has been paying the price ever since. Some legends, it turns out, are better left forgotten.